friends, family, and internet strangers, Stephanie here, and welcome back to Vlogmas. Today is all about Christmas breakfast. So I have got a really tasty idea for Christmas breakfast for you, and this is part of a collab, so there will be a playlist down in the description box so you can get all sorts of Christmas morning ideas for breakfast for your family or just for yourself, because sometimes we're celebrating alone. I know I have for sure spent some Christmas mornings by myself. Normally that means a thing of cinnamon rolls, just a plain old package of cinnamon rolls, nothing fancy. This one is a little bit fancier that I'm going to be showing you, but it's not difficult. It is very tasty. Thanks so much to Melissa from I'm Merely Melissa and Christy from Christy Osborne for hosting. Their channels will be linked down below along with that playlist. Let's get right into it. Breakfast is not something we had a lot when I was growing up, and when we did have breakfast, it was breakfast for dinner, and it was usually pancakes. So pancakes tend to be my go-to when it comes to breakfast. In terms of Christmas morning, we still really didn't have breakfast at my house, but what we did do usually when we were going to have something was those canned cinnamon rolls, the Pillsbury canned cinnamon rolls with icing. So I'm going to try out some pancakes and make them kind of a cinnamon roll version of a pancake. I am taking cinnamon and adding it to my pancake batter. If you are new here, welcome. Hope you'll stick around. I love cinnamon. I use cinnamon a lot, and you'll learn that very quickly watching my videos. And I do not measure cinnamon. Cinnamon is something that you measure with your heart. You can use whatever pancake mix you want or make your own. I'm simply using this Kodiak Power Cakes mix because I've wanted to try it, and I figured this would be a good, easy opportunity to do so because I was making this for dinner instead of breakfast because I still am not a massive breakfast person. So once I add my cinnamon to my pancake mix, I am making a cinnamon sugar butter mixture similar to what you would put on a cinnamon roll, but in more of a butter form. So I melted butter. I added to that butter just a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of cinnamon. I'm hoping to give you all some inspiration with this. I don't have exact measurements. I did not measure anything other than the pancake mix and the water in this instant. And then I am going to drizzle that cinnamon sugar butter mixture over the top of my pancake to make it look like a cinnamon roll. Spoiler alert, it didn't stay that way, but it looked cute when it was on the griddle and it tasted delicious, and that's the important part. Decoration is not my strong suit, but as long as it tastes good, that's where you get the wins, and this tasted absolutely delicious. So I have drizzled all that on, and then when it's time to flip the pancake, I have to end up using two things to flip it because I just really am not good at flipping pancakes over. Now, I'm adding some icing to the top of these, just like you'd put icing on a cinnamon roll. You can use whatever icing you'd like. The simplest mixture that I use is powdered sugar, a little bit of water that I do a small amount at a time until it's the consistency that I like. And then you could do vanilla extract, just a couple drops. I chose to do almond extract because that is one of my favorite flavors. I love almond extract. So I simply drizzle a little bit of milk in at a time as I whisk this together until it becomes the icing consistency that I look for. You could also do a cream cheese icing, whatever type of icing you want, and then I'm just going to drizzle it right over the top of those pancakes. Now, even though the cinnamon spiral did not stay on there, I did have some of that brown sugar cinnamon butter left, so I drizzled that over the top, and look how good those look. To go with this, I'm making up some bacon and potatoes. For my bacon, since I'm only cooking for me, I really never need an entire package of bacon, so I cut it in half before I cook it, and I just slice right through the package and put half of it in the freezer for later use, and then the other half goes into my pan, and then once it is done to my desired liking, I pull that out, put it on paper towel, and let some of that grease soak off. But then I'm going to cook my potatoes in that oil. Now, my bacon did have a lot of grease, so I probably should have dumped some out, but I did end up blotting out some of the grease afterwards, and these potatoes were so good. I just kept wanting more of them and had to stop myself from eating everything all in one sitting and save some for the next day. But I did eat them first thing the next morning, all of my leftovers. So these did turn out really well. What I did here, I added just salt and pepper, onions, and green peppers. And I had parboiled my potatoes at a different time. I did a big batch of parboiled potatoes and then split that in half for a few different recipes. And then here you can see me blotting out some of that oil and draining some of it out so that it wasn't overly greasy when I ate it. And then I did a little taste test, and these were perfect. Highly recommend trying out this meal. It was so good. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration for Christmas morning. Let me know in the comments down below what you plan on making for breakfast this Christmas. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And thanks so much for sticking around this far.